Gentlemen, and welcome back to Bleacher Report. I am your host, Tony Dow, with tdphinstalk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Let your friends and family members know about the app. And here we are, Wednesday evening, live every single Wednesday evening, all year long. So don't forget, you'll never miss me on a Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here. But listen, the Miami Dolphins making some moves. We're going to break down the free agent moves right here on this video, and we're also going to talk about what they mean, and we're going to try to give all 10 of the moves that the team has made so far a grade, okay? Again, make sure you hit that fire button on your way in the building. Let your friends and family members know about us. We are live every Wednesday night here on Bleacher Report. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, the Miami Dolphins have signed 10 players in free agency, but we also got some good news that a lot of people aren't talking about. The Dolphins were able to land 4 compensatory picks so far, okay? For those who don't know what the picks are, I'm going to go through them real quick. I actually love it. I absolutely love it. We have pick 256, which is a 7th round pick, and we know it's not very valuable, but you never know. You know, you draft a player that you really like and you think they have potential to maybe a lot of upside. That's where you want to try to take that swing. Pick 253, same thing, another 7th round pick in the compensatory formula. So the Dolphins, 2 7th round picks, but this is where it gets real interesting. We also have a 4th round compensatory pick at pick number 135, okay? 4th round picks aren't picks to sleep on. Those are players who could be in the NFL and who could potentially blossom into a starter. They have the higher upside than your 6th, 7th round picks, obviously. But a 4th round pick, man, this is where me personally, I love when teams attack guards, defensive tackles. You know, some of these guys have a higher probability of working out in this league at those positions. So I love the fact that we got that additional 4th round pick. And last but not least, the Dolphins were awarded pick number 98, which is in the 3rd round. Yes, we also received a 3rd round compensatory pick, which is phenomenal as well. 3rd rounder, that's a fringe starter. It's a backup, but maybe you get a steal. That's where you might want to look at a running back. You might want to look at a talented linebacker that you like, or maybe even a really good tight end. That's in the 3rd round, even a guard. That's where you can find a lot of gems that you might look up and say, wow, this guy is an NFL starter. I mean, you can find him in the 3rd round, and that's what man, we got an extra 3rd round pick. Pick number 98 overall, Chris Greer. Use them wisely. And another thing, you never know. Maybe we don't even use them. Maybe we use some of those to actually trade up in the draft or do more. Get back in the 2nd round. Get back in the 1st round. Move up in the 1st round. Move up in the 2nd round. If it's a player you love on the board and you're scared they're going to be gone, this is the ammunition you can use to help yourself move up and get even more. Okay? All right, but those are the compensatory picks that we were able to acquire. Now let's get into these free agents, okay? Like first up on the board, let's get straight to it. Zach Wilson, the big fish, and I don't even know if we can say the big fish, but the big acquisition that everybody's talking about, you know, oh, Zach Wilson, what are they thinking? You know, there are cheaper options that might even be better, whatever it may be. I done heard a lot of people's take on this, and my conclusion to it all is that they believe they could rehab Zach Wilson. Don't know if it's going to be successful or not, but there's something within the organization that feels like, hey, man, let's bring him in. We might be able to rehab him. If things don't go well with Tua Tagovailoa, we got another project while we're figuring it out. And I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, they can rehab Zach Wilson, but what I will say is you can't take what any quarterback does for the New York Jets and judge them off of that. If that was the case, Geno Smith wouldn't be in the league right now after his Jets time, and he's revived his career. Sam Darnold wouldn't even be in an alternative league right now if you just went off of the Jets. And he's revived his career. So I'm not going to sit here and act like it's not possible, especially with Mike McDaniel. Have we forgot what Tua looked like his first 2 years versus his third and fourth year? Don't sleep on it. But we do bring in Zach Wilson on a 1 year, $6 million deal. Okay. The thing about this is the only thing that concerned me with this move was the fact that this is a year where if your starting quarterback goes down, you need a quarterback who can win you 3 out of 6 games, 2 out of 4 games. Zach Wilson hasn't really done that in his career. Zach Wilson isn't the type of quarterback that wins 3 out of 6. He wins 2 out of 6. He's not the type of quarterback that wins 2 out of 4. He wins 1.5 out of 4. And I personally thought that this was the year that you can't take that chance. You can't take any chances on projects. This is why I spoke heavily about you got to go after Gardner Minshew. Although Gardner Minshew isn't that much better, it's the point that he is better. And he may not even get you 3 out of 6, but he might get you 2.5 out of 6. So you got that chance. Because last year when Tua missed 6 games, we got 2 out of 6. We gotta get up out of that. We need much better. But you know what? We can't sleep on the potential. We have to bet on Mike McDaniel and what he can do with Zach Wilson in the event that Tua does go down. And we hope he doesn't. Like, that's the dagger, y'all. And for us to even put this much emphasis on it is embarrassing in itself. But our reality is our reality. We got a quarterback that you can't rely on. He's only been healthy 1 out of 5 seasons. 80% of the seasons he's been injured. And it sucks for me to say this, but it's a fact. There's an 80% chance he may get hurt again. That's crazy, isn't it? But that's what it's been. 5 seasons, only 1 healthy. That means he got hurt 80% of all seasons. And that's not good at all. So with that being said, if we do need to use a backup quarterback, they put us in a position of where we need to trust Zach Wilson. This free agent grade, I am actually going to give a B- for Zach Wilson. To qualify the grade, the reason why it's not an A, B+, A-, A+, is because, first of all, Zach Wilson is not a proven quarterback. Second off, he doesn't have a vast amount of experience. Third off, you took a chance in a year that many believe you shouldn't be taking chances. You have to make sure that you get solidified things done. So I do like the upside. That's why it wasn't a C, D, or F. I do like the upside betting on Mike McDaniel to do with Zach Wilson that he did with Tua Tagovailoa. There's still that potential. So I don't want to give a failing grade or an average grade when you brought somebody in that gives you a potential, but I also can't give you flying colors because you're taking a gamble and a chance in a year where nobody feels like we should be gambling or chancing it. It's just the reality. Okay? So I give the Zach Wilson free agent pickup a B-. Let's move forward to Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, wide receiver from Tennessee. About 500 yards last year. One play, it was 497 yards last year. One play, he had a 98-yard play, the whole field. So not to take away from him, but it's almost like 400-yard guy that one play gave him 500. Beautiful thing, because I'll take the 98-yard play in Miami. But the biggest upside to this one is the fact that he had 8 or 9 touchdowns. Wow. And he's a big, tall receiver who's a red zone threat, and he can take the top off. So when you know that Tyreek Hill is already in his role, Jalen Waddle's in his role, Jonnu's in place, now you're looking for that number 3, that guy that Odell was supposed to be, everybody's supposed to be, and we keep failing at. But we look for that guy, and we're like, Malik Washington is coming up. But now you bring Nick Westbrook in. This is perfect. This is an actual good move. This is an excellent move by Chris Grier. There's no high expectations on him to be a number 1 or number 2. But I think he could perfectly fit in that 3 to 4 role and play it at a high level and be a red zone threat, which means he can get some playing time getting on the field as a red zone threat and scoring, helping us score touchdowns. And he's young. So for that, this is the highest grade that I'm going to give. A++, ladies and gentlemen. A++. And yes, for those in the chat, he is a big receiver. He's not big, bulky. He's kind of skinnier, but he's tall. Red zone threat. That's what you're looking for. That's exactly what you're looking for. So, yeah, I like it. I think it's a huge pickup for the Miami Dolphins, and I think that he can come in and contribute right away in his role. And you know what? He can double or triple the production that, what was his name? Braxton Berrios. He can double or triple that production. And what I like the most, he stayed healthy last year. He was a healthy player last year, and he's been healthy for the most part. We're not asking him to come in and be a number 1 or number 2, but what we're asking him to come in and be, this is an excellent A+. I don't have any problems with this. This is no criticism. Excellent move by the Dolphins. Okay, let's move forward. Now we got safety they call him Iffy because his first name is Ifeatu Melifonwu, and I might be messing that up, but I got word from a Colts analyst that everybody call him Iffy. So when we're talking about Iffy, our new safety, it's Iffy. That's what I was told. Everyone calls him, okay? Now, here's the deal with Iffy, okay? I didn't know much about him to begin with, right? But I had to reach out to some people and talk about, hey, man, what do I need to know about this guy? I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at, everything. He only played 4 games last year. And someone said may have dealt with some injuries as well in his career, which is part of an issue. But I was told that he's an excellent player. The only reason he didn't play as much as well outside of any injuries is because the Detroit Lions already had their starting 2 guys, and he just didn't get enough opportunity. I was even told that he better than Javon Holland. Now, I had to slow down and be like, man, until I see it, I'm not going to do that until I see it. But the person I was told is to avid Lions fan, literally studies the team, covers the team. But I'm not going to be completely sold on him saying he better than Holland until I see it. But it does tell me, hey, we might have something here because I trust his word to a degree. Now, he said Holland. It's for me. If somebody better than Holland, why he ain't stay with his team? But they already got their safeties locked down. And this was a move where free agency, he wanted an opportunity. So I hope it works out. It's kind of incomplete to me. It's a little bit incomplete to me, to be quite honest with you. But what I will say, I haven't seen enough consistency in his career when I look at the numbers and how many games played to feel like this is just an excellent move. And for that, only because of the upside, I'm also going to go B- here. I'm not going to dog it because I trust my guy's word, but I'm not going to give it a raving grade because I don't see any consistency in his history of play that suggests he can make a career here in Miami and we'd want to re-sign him long-term if it works out. So I like the move. because there's potential here. Let's see what it, but right now I view him as a backup until he earns it in training camp. And I say, oh, I'm seeing a starter. Time will tell. And also what the Dolphins do in the draft will tell us how they feel about it, because Malachi Starks might be there and they got an opportunity to grab him. And if they do, then that tells me they feel like he's a backup. If they don't, and they don't get much safety help in the draft early in the first and second round, then I like the Dolphins' confidence in this player. Let's move forward. I don't want to run out of time. We're not going to do the re-sign, guys, as far as a grade. Tyrell Dodson, they re-signed him. Let's see what happens. They also re-signed Matt Dickerson. Not much to talk about there. They re-signed Elijah Campbell at the safety position because we're thin there, but not much to talk about. Let's see how it works out. And they re-signed Quentin Bell, the outside linebacker, okay? We're not going to talk much about those guys. But next up on the list, who we're going to talk about, another safety, ladies and gentlemen, Ashton Davis, okay? Ashton Davis. I like this move. He's actually ranked the 40th safety in the NFL out of like 200 or something like that. But when you talk about 40, knowing that there's 2 on every team, that pretty much puts him in the top 20, of the league, more so as starters. So he's obviously been a starting safety, obviously, right? Here's the thing about Ashton Davis. Coming from the Jets, I talked to Richie. Many of you know Richie from Jets Media. He's a solid player. He's not a jump out the gym amazing player, but he's a solid player. He was a backup, playing some minutes. And, he had spurts where he was well. He played well. Many believe that he's going to be the starter in Miami. And under Anthony Weaver is what I'm banking on more than anything for him to actually thrive. I love him in the system that Anthony Weaver runs. I've already went and watched a little bit of the film. And the only issue is there hasn't been great consistency. But overall, he's a solid player and still has upside, as he's only been in the league for 5 years. And I think the Dolphins I'm hoping so. They might have gotten a steal here, because I don't think the Jets tapped the potential properly. And I believe in Anthony Weaver more than I believe in what the Jets had over there, even with their ex-coach. Okay. So Ashton Davis is a tricky one, though. I'm a little I gotta see it. I really gotta see it. I don't want to speak bad or good and jump ahead of it, but he did miss 3 games last year, week 8, 9, 10, if I'm not mistaken. But overall was healthy for the most part in the season, absolutely balled out. I think he had like 2 interceptions versus the Dolphins last year. They probably saw what he did in that game versus the Jets, where he picked us off twice. And they said, you know what, we like that. Let's bring him to Miami. I think that's what it came down to. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna give this move a B+. I'm gonna give it a B+ because I'm a little more optimistic about Ashton Davis. I like the experience. He's coming from a defensive philosophy type system. And his first 3 years weren't great, but his last 2 years have been very good. And he's making progress into becoming great. That's what I believe I'm seeing right now, but I'm going to wait to see. Can he get in that starting fold? I believe so, but let's wait and see what Anthony Weaver thinks. But I'm going to give that a B. I'm going to give it a B, all right? Let's go to the next one here. Guard James Daniels. Pittsburgh, the big fish. The big fish. And let me go ahead and give y'all his grade now. I'm giving him an A- for the Miami Dolphins. First of all, as a player, what he's been doing lately, I would give him an A. I love this move. Knowing where we're coming from with Eichenberg, Oh, this is a massive upgrade. This is this all we needed. Austin Jackson, James Daniels, Aaron Brewer. Let those guys battle it out that we have at the left guard, and Teron Armstead come back. I believe he will. I like that. I love the unit. Isaiah Wynn or whoever over there, if you bring them back at the guard, or you go in the draft and get another guard. But I'm already feeling like I'm gonna love the unit this year. Finally, we have an O-line. Finally. The only drawback is, can he stay healthy? Towards Achilles last year. Not going to be ready for football activities until June, potentially. And when we say football activities, okay, you can go out there and move a little, okay? A month later, now you can do limited practice. Here we are in August. Is he going to be ready for week 1? He's progressing well. We're just keeping an eye on it. He practiced today. We're just trying to see how the injury reacts. All the politics. Will he be ready for week 1? I'll say yes, but we really don't know. Let's see. And can he stay healthy when he is on the field? That's going to be the main question. That's the only reason it wasn't a perfect grade for me. I love the pickup, but there's injury concerns, and I give it an A-. All right? Last but not least, Larry Borom. Not much to say here. This is a guy that they're trying to see if they can get something out of. I think that he's going to be a camp body. I don't know if he makes the team, and if he does make the team, he'll be a backup potentially, unless he just thrives and shocks everybody. But he has the versatility at guard and tackle. So if you got a tackle go out, he could play it. If you get a guard go out, he could play it. That's going to be his advantage over the rest of the room. But he's going to have to play very well because he's a fringe guy. He is not a starter, and hasn't even proven to really solidify himself as a backup. And I believe he's hoping to do that, and Miami's hoping he can do that as well. So that move, I'm going to give a C-. I don't know if it's going to work out. I mean, they see some intangibles they want to work with to see if they can get something out of it, but we don't know. Okay. Let me see here. Oh, let me tally the grades up for us. Let's see here. So right now, the Miami Dolphins grade for free agency with these additions, it's between a B and B-, the fair grade. But I'm going to give it a B. I'm not giving it a B+. Right now, we're operating out of a B. Zach Wilson was a B-. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine was an A+. Iffy is a B-. Ashton Davis, B+. James Daniels, A-. And Larry Borom, C-. And the composite score of all of that is a B- and a B. So it's right between a B- and a B. Right between. It's not a B-, it's not a B. It's like right between, going in either way. So, like, if Armstead comes back, if Calais Campbell comes back, we'll start getting on the positive side of that B, maybe even edging into the B+. Calais Campbell is going to be a big, big addition. That's going to be one. That's going to be one of them, okay? Yeah. Outside of that, man, that's what you have. That's what you have right now. Excuse me. The Miami Dolphins making moves. I like it so far, but we still need some heavy hitters. That draft got to hit, and you need Calais Campbell and Armstead to come back. But you got to hit two nice players in the draft, primarily maybe another guard, a starting safety, with an early pick. That's what I would be looking forward to if I'm the Dolphins, a middle linebacker. In a corner, we still need a corner. Let's not forget that. We're going to need a corner, all right? All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for tuning in again for the Wednesday evening show here on Bleacher Report. I appreciate everybody who's watching right now. Make sure you hit the fire button on your way in and out of the channel. For those on Bleacher Report, I will see you all next Wednesday. For those on TD Fins Talk, stay tuned on the channel as we'll discuss more. Thank you. Love you all. See you soon. Yes, and I know some people had some things to say in the chat. Silent Storm said, TD, is it bad? I'd rather we start Zach over Tua. We can't lose either. He balls out and we have our guy, or he bums and we get our guy next draft. We got to roll with Tua, bro. I get what you're saying, though. It's not bad, but we got to roll with Tua. See if he got one more piece in him. I like Justin Fields to Jets. Let's see what happens. TD, if Tua is our QB, we are done. Haven't you noticed he has been regressing every year? Tough reality, man. It's a tough reality. Definitely a tough reality. Oh, man. Anyway, y'all, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I do the Bleacher Report every Wednesday evening. So instead of just doing Bleacher, I fire up my stream as well so we could all talk about the same thing. That's why I haven't responded to the chat during that. So I was live on my channel and Bleacher at the same time. Just FYI. All right. So for those who don't follow me on Bleacher Report, go over and follow me. Hit that fire button. All right. Show love and support that way. All right, y'all. I gotta get on and move on for right now and get with the family. And then we got the AFC East roundtable this evening. So y'all come through. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Peace. I'm out.